everyone. For this fly, for high-vis CDC and ELK, you're going to need just two materials if you don't count the hook and thread. So it's CDC in color that you like and deer hair or elk hair in color that you like. Because this is high-vis, I want to use yellow one. And from lower side, because my CDC is quite wide, and when you put it on the water, it's actually going to cover up almost all the yellow wing. I'm not too concerned about color of my wing spooking the fish. Let me just illustrate that for you with a very simple trick. Watch your eyes. I'm going to turn on the light. So when you put this, like bright sky or something, yellow color is less visible. Obviously, from the side it will look differently, but sun hides a little bit the color of your wing. Not 100%, but it does. So I'm going to start with a relatively big hook for this fly. I like these flies in sizes 14 and 16. I'm using this time number 12. I'm using relatively strong thread to match the quantity of hair I'm going to use. It's 630 waxed Semper fly. I'm going to wax it even more by the end of this, by the finish of this fly. And I'm using CDC. And this one is some kind of brown color. And I want to pick out the longer CDC as long as I can find over here, because I need CDC to cover up my whole hook. This one is too fluffy, too wild, so I'm not going to use it. You can use relatively long ones, oval in shape, and that would be the best choice if you ask me here. For the hair, it's Nature Spirit all-purpose deer hair in yellow. Perfect, nice straight patch of hair here. I'm gonna cover up the whole shank of the hook because I want to make some friction, and the color is from it's white thread, but the color is from the previous fly. Here, make 2 turns, not one but 2 turns of loose turns, not too tight, of tying thread, and then just cover up this tip, securing everything. By counter spinning the bobbin holder, you actually can flatten the thread, make everything less bulky, and in less winds you're going to cover up the rest of the body if you want tight wraps. So I want to stop here because I'll need this place to tie in my wings and finish off the head. I'm using this Hackle pliers, it's by Cotterelli. It holds stuff pretty well, that's why I like it. Not cheap, but very good quality. Now twist the CDC counterclockwise, because when you do that, you don't have to fight CDC, because when you start winding it around the hook, you don't need to push it against the previous wrap. It will just jump there. As you can see, it jumps there. I release the tension, it jumps there. So it also, you need to do it after each wrap. You need one wrap, because one wrap around the hook shank will untwist the CDC. So that's why you need to twist it again in this counterclockwise direction. I'm doing it for the first third of the hook, and then I just go around with this CDC, and you can pull those barbs up, pull them up, pull them up. I want to leave bottom of the fly, let's say flat, so everything stands on the water a little bit better. As you can see, I have a lot of those barbs sticking out here, and I'm going to catch them with my thread, and I'll just release the tension, well, release the Hackle pliers, but keep the tension on the bobbin holder. Let me just see, okay, it's here, one more wrap here, what I like to do, I want to put this quill part on the side of the hook if possible. 3 wraps to make it a little bit more secure. I'm going to remove them later to preserve some wraps here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and just I want to cover up this bulk bump over here that can even frame my thread. Okay, that's good. And I'm gonna cover it up. I'll try, it slides down, and then I'll go back at a time point for the wing. Orange Sharpie to color the thread. Color this as well. Okay. Now for the deer hair part. Cut deer hair as close to the pelt as you can, and cut relatively generous amount. The most important part is to remove the fluff and underfur, broken hairs and other stuff that you don't need from the lower portion of the clump. It makes stacking job much easier. I like to stack a couple of times vertically, and I just want to stack them like this so they all fall down. Now you want to take those wings in the direction you want to tie them in, meaning to my left, and don't hesitate when you take them from the hair stacker, because otherwise you will displace those tips. They will not be so nicely aligned. Okay, I want it here, so just stroke back those barbs, place my wing where I want it, and then just transfer the hands without messing up with those those hairs. Now twist the thread counterclockwise and go with 1 wrap, 2 wraps, then 2 wraps tight next to each other, then push your index finger against those hairs, so when you pull up your thread, you pull upwards, you compensate for some thread torque that you're going to cause, and go as strong as you can on it. And then 1, 2 more wraps or 3 more wraps at the same spot, and then go through those butt ends, but release the pressure. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2 here. I have flat thread, which is good to make a web finish. 1, tight against the butt ends. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now I don't have very nice thread to match the body, so this thread looks more like a hotspot if you ask me, but it's not bad. Now what I like is wings that are flat with hook shank. They're not going down. I don't have anything to cut except those butt ends. And then I'll just try to divide like this. Okay, let me see. This looks okay. Just go with dubbing needle, and I go down the thread, and that should take away all those stray buttons that I have. Now I want to cut it flush and in one cut. Let me see if you can see anything. Almost. So place your scissors and do one single cut. You shouldn't have anything to correct as I do, but yeah, I think this is more or less fine. Nicely tied wing, flat and pretty bulky, which will hold even some fly under it. You can use it for hopper dropper. I have one more hair here to deal with. That's it. The reason why I like this fly is because it's super easy to tie. It's not more than 10 minutes as it's lasting right now. It's like more like 3 minutes tie. You can literally tie this fly in 3 minutes, and it catches fish as if it was live bait. It's that good. Just cover all the sizes you can imagine. So from size, let's say 20 or even smaller if you can tie, to size 10, and you have all the caddis emergers or whatever covered with this single pattern. For most of these CDC and ELKs, I'm gonna use this kind of CDC, which is natural, and I will use normal deer here, which has like white tips. That's more or less enough. But this one I will use in low light conditions, almost near the dark, when you can hear fish hitting the flies around you, and then you just cast this one. Sometimes you will see the fish hitting it, sometimes you will hear it, which is actually quite exciting thing to experience. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you like this video. I hope you learned something new, and until next time, tight lines and keep safe.